Hey, that's her right there. That's the one who's keeping me from buying a house.
Yeah, I think that lady robbed me last week.
You wrinkly piece of shit! Get her ass! Whoa. Guys, you're really about to beat up this sweet, innocent old lady? Yeah, she's a boomer, dude. She deserves everything that's coming to her. Just look at her despicable boomer face.
Oh! That's the face of someone whose wages have historically kept up with inflation.
Alright guys, I get you're angry. But is this lady really to blame for all this? I mean, sure, she bought her own house with 2 pieces of belly button lint and half a used toothpick. And sure, she could provide for a family on a single income from her job as a grocery store cashier, which she got from walking in and spitting on one of the employees. But let's be real for a second. Did she really have it that much better?
No. Oh no! Ludicrous.
Okay. I get your point. Well, you know, it's not my fault that you're a bunch of whiny, entitled snowflakes. Maybe if you stopped door dining and drinking these ridiculous pink unicorn drinks, you would be able to save up for 75 years and buy the same house I did. You crybaby f***. You know what? Do whatever you want. You know, sometimes I wonder if people would have more sympathy for the boomers if they didn't absolutely insist on taking hot, steamy craps on the next generation every chance they got. And the thing is, too, for all the talk around the term NPC, am I wrong for thinking boomers literally fit the label to a T? We've all heard the same tired voice lines and arguments from boomers in comment sections when you see their ongoing one-sided beef against Gen Z.
Oh, so you got a degree in biomechanical engineering and you can't even get a job as a door-to-door solar panel salesman? Tough shit, you man-bun-having sissy. I tell you, I worked 2 jobs at your age just to be able to afford 2 fully paid-off houses, and a boat, and a whole nother family I haven't told my wife about. And you didn't hear me complain once. And you can barely afford rent? Tuh! Bootstraps, young man. Bootstraps!
Little side note here, but in the name of fairness, I do just have to say that, millennials, you did yourself absolutely no favors with the ironic tattoos and the blue hair and the Tumblr. In many ways, you did do it to yourself. I'm just saying. Regardless, I just want to understand why. Why is there this pointless intergenerational beef? Why does an entire generation of people born into the most economically prosperous time in maybe all of human history so insistent that people recognize them for their non-existent struggles? Why is it so damn vital to these people's fragile egos that we all think they had it harder or something, when that is so obviously, demonstrably false compared to the situation we're in today? For the sake of the video, let's be ultra super duper charitable to the boomers here. First things first, you have to understand that boomers grew up in a society that just worked for them. Strong social services, strong unions, a tax code that actually benefited the working class. All these things were basically a given at the time. Sure, they didn't have the latest iPhone or images of cat girls, but they did have something the newer generation don't. Buying power. Now, obviously, any rational person would look at a boomer's total inability to grasp the idea that economic circumstances changed based on the policies that were enacted in the past. A concept that even primitive animals seem to be able to grasp in their own environments. But the case is, boomers look at the luxuries we get nowadays for relatively cheap and just fly off the handle. This is because in their minds, it seems like on the surface, we're getting everything they're getting, plus extra stuff, which we don't deserve, which then turns into unbridled foam-at-the-mouth rage. It's It's not a very sophisticated process. In reality though, while it's true that all the luxuries we get to enjoy like TVs and phones are relatively cheap compared to their value, the necessities to live such as groceries and home prices have absolutely skyrocketed. Now good luck trying to convince a boomer that the conditions they were born into had a much larger role to play in their success than whatever garbage they're spewing about elbow grease and coupons. This is one of the many reasons why boomers are pretty much universally loathed on the internet, but there are two other significant ones. First, they are selfish as shit. Imagine the warped-ass mentality you have to get all these benefits for literally no reason, enjoying them to their fullest extent and then some, but then when your kid comes to ask for just a fraction of the same opportunities you had, you tell them to get absolutely bent? Not only this, but every chance they get, they're calling you lazy and entitled and ungrateful, as if they were raised by apes like Tarzan and built a civilization from scratch with their own two hands. No? Maybe your parents didn't coddle you as much. I know how much you love to seethe about participation medals. Is it that you didn't get one? You can be honest. It hurts that you didn't get one, huh? And now it's everyone else's problem? I tried my best. That's okay. I know you did. I know you did. Let's not even mention the fact that a lot, and I mean a lot, of the problems we face today economically are directly the fault of the boomers. Voting for tax cuts for the richest and cuts to social services for reasons? This is basically what boomers did back in the day.
More. I want more shit. Give me more shit.
My, that's a very impressive pile of shit you have there.
Thanks. I worked real hard for it. Something the kids these days don't know the first motherfucking thing about.
So true. Anyways, do you mind giving corporations legal personhood so they can lobby on their own behalf?
To give representation of small businesses and stimulate economic activity?
Yes.
Alright, as long as it don't affect this pile of shit I got going on here.
Hey, I've been working for 10 years and I can't even afford the down payment on this garbage dump in Crime Town.
Well, what an unexpected and entirely unforeseen outcome. I have an idea, and I'm just throwing this out there. Have you ever thought about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? I know it might be hard with the skirt you're wearing.
Yeah, I have. That's like your catchphrase at this point. You know, this is all like totally unfair, and I don't feel like my work matters all that much.
Oh, it's you again. Hey, that's my kid right there. Isn't he such a
Reason number 2 why boomers are so hated. They are completely and totally out of touch with reality. But even worse than that, they will lash out and lose their minds at anyone dumb enough to try and help them out. See, boomers have this incredibly frustrating combo of not knowing anything about anything, yet thinking they know everything about everything, and it sucks because they are supposed to be our grandmas and grandpas. We are trying to help you! Anyone in customer service will tell you that boomers are by far and away the single most entitled group of people you could ever encounter. They tried to stick that label on a generation that can't even look people in the eye and won't complain if they got a rusty nail and piece of a shoe in their $25 burger. You think Gen Z are the ones holding up a busy restaurant to ask why the burger combo went from a nickel to $20, or that the espresso martini tastes too much like coffee, or whatever else a dilapidated, dust-filled boomer mind could come up with? But I guess it's finally time to answer the question. Is boomer hate justified? Well, the answer kind of depends. If you're an average Joe Zoomer that couldn't care less, then yeah, the furious words of some deranged boomer is unlikely to change that. If you're a millennial or in the service industry, you are totally justified in hating boomers. They can single-handedly turn your day from a good one into a terrible one with one single interaction. Oh, and if you're a millennial with boomer parents in customer service, well, All jokes aside though, guys, at the end of the day, as despicable and self-centered and entitled and narcissistic and egotistical and aggravating as some boomers can be, it's never good to carry this grudge around. It is what it is, and society has pretty much collectively agreed to just deal with it. Also, they're all pretty much stun-locked with generated slop too, like, to a pretty scary degree. I've never seen such a complete and total counter like this. Maybe ever? And anyways, if they ever spew some classic hot boomer garbage at you, we all know by now what the response should be.
Okay, boomer.